Hello there, and welcome to another edition of Did You Know Doctor Who, what you may or may not have known about Doctor Who. This time we're going to have a look at our first 12th Doctor story, about time as well, because 12th Doctor is a fantastic Doctor. It's just a shame that his stories aren't very good. However, this story is considered by many as one of the best stories in New Who era, Heaven Sent. I hope you enjoy. The story is about one's own battle with depression, symbolised by the repetition and the inability to accept fate. This is the Doctor's first time being able to return to Gallifrey since the return of it in Day of the Doctor. The entire story's dialogue is from the Doctor, except for one line. This Doctor's story that he tells in the beginning is written on a wall in the old castle, only certain parts are missing. The Doctor imagines he's in the TARDIS with Clara, who writes responses on the blackboards whenever he needs to think about a scenario. This is quite similar to the Mind Palace from Sherlock, a show created and written by Stephen Moffat. Each and every one of the skulls are modelled off of Peter Capaldi's own skull. In many ways this is very realistic. This is the only penultimate finale to not feature the Cybermen in the Moffat era. Clara's dialogue, "Get up off your ass and win," received complaints for profanity within the UK. Outside audiences, however, had no issue. I mean, there's really no issue to this at all. I mean, Missy said bitch in the first story, so you know. There is debate over whether this is a first part of the finale or the middle part of a three-part story. The BBC claims it's a two-part finale, while Stephen Moffat claims it's a trilogy. With only 3 characters, this has one of the shortest casts in Doctor Who. In terms of in-universe lore, this is the longest story/adventure that the Doctor has had, with it lasting over 4.5 billion years. This episode was planned as far back as Series 8, with Moffat teasing Heaven Sent's cliffhanger. The Veil was portrayed by Jamie Reed Quarrell, who previously played Colony Saraf earlier in this series. Heaven Sent is one of the most successful Doctor Who stories ever, being the first to be submitted in the Primetime Emmy Awards, and was even submitted for the Creative Arts Emmy for various categories. However, it never won anything. Despite its success, Heaven Sent only garnered a low audience rating with 4.5 million viewers. The episode was filmed at 2 locations as opposed to just using one. These were Cardiff Castle and Carefully Castle. And that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Heaven Sent is certainly one of the greatest Doctor Who stories out there, and is certainly one of the best New Who stories out there. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's an emotional rollercoaster for sure, but it's just very good. And what makes it really, really impressive is just how simplistic it really is. There's hardly any cast in this, there's hardly any dialogue, there's hardly anything at all, and yet it does an effective job at creating a rather tragic but lonesome atmosphere. And Peter Capaldi's acting is just top notch at this. Peter Capaldi himself is just a fantastic Doctor, and it's a shame that not a lot of his episodes were very good. The ones that are really good will be featured in Did You Know Doctor Who later on, but for the time being, I'm just glad that I've got one of his stories over and done with, because honestly, he's such an underrated Doctor. It's just a shame that his stories weren't the best. He deserved a whole lot more. That said, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Did You Know Doctor Who, and I'll see you next time.